Read a smile behind my mask. How long will it last? Stimulus going fast. Government won't act. How long will this be going on?
Aloha and happy holidays from Skye, your soulful progressive with FNN, the Feminist News Network, that Feminist News that's right for you. Welcome to Skye in the IE room, giving you that soulful news you need, yes indeed. And if you haven't told a friend to like and subscribe and get that soulful news that soulful way, well, sweetie, you let them know. You can click that link below and see plenty today. And even that Merry Xmas, aka pandemic movie. Now, what is it I want to talk to you about? What is going on? We're going to take a look at the December 9th, 21 version of Democracy Now! Talking about Astra Taylor on the Intercepts. Your debt is somebody else's asset. We're going to take a look at this, and then we're going to really discuss about the Jubilee. And what is that? Setting that debt free. And we're going to explain, as an ADOS, people of color, what that really means. So let's take a look, because with this holiday, nobody is getting what they should under their tree. And Santa won't be there for many.
The American dream used to be owning your own home. Now it's being debt-free. Altogether, Americans owe a record-breaking $15 trillion and counting. Sold as a lifeline, debt is too often an anchor, dragging people down with compounding interest and fees, pulling wealth and resources from the working class to bloat Wall Street's bottom line. Every debt we hold is someone else's asset, with our monthly payments providing steady revenue streams for greedy creditors. Households with credit card debt pay around $1,155 a year in interest alone. Americans now die owing an average of $62,000, much of it credit card debt. A significant amount of the $770 billion of credit card debt sloshing around is medical bills, ambulance rides, doctor's visits, and surgeries paid for with the swipe of a little plastic card. Then there's the additional $140 billion of medical debt and collections, combined with an estimated $50 billion in back rent and $1.4 trillion in auto loans. Much of this debt didn't exist a few generations ago. Consider the $1.8 trillion in student loans this country now holds, which wasn't a problem in the 1960s when college was often free, or close to it. Ronald Reagan helped change that. He made his name by demonizing protesters on the University of Berkeley campus. In 1967, as governor of California, he pushed the university system to start charging students tuition so they would, quote, think twice about whether they wanted to pay to carry a picket sign. During his career as senator, Joe Biden advanced Reagan's project, working to expand student lending. As a senator from Delaware, the credit card industry capital, Biden was a devoted servant of the financial sector. He fought relentlessly for 2005 legislation that weakened borrower protections and made bankruptcy more difficult for regular borrowers, strengthening the hand of the student loan and credit card industries and helping cause a wave of home foreclosures. But debt is not just about money. It's about power. Debt has long been both a source of profit and a tool of social control and racial domination. The Founding Fathers knew this. Thomas Jefferson argued that debt should be canceled after natural limits, which he took to be about a generation, but only for white men like himself. In 1803, he wrote that debt should be used as a weapon against indigenous people to steal their territory. We shall be glad to see the good and influential individuals among them run in debt, because we observe that when these debts get beyond what the individuals can pay, they become willing to lop them off by a cession of lands. Sharecropping, redlining, predatory lending all continued this trend, deepening racial inequities. As a result of the 2008 mortgage crisis, Black and brown families lost upwards of 50% of their collective wealth. For regular debtors, even a late payment can spell disaster. A tanked credit score can make it impossible to rent an apartment or get a job. Default on your student loans? The government can seize your wages, tax refunds, and Social Security. Debtors' prisons are technically unconstitutional, but in practice, people struggling to pay medical bills or court fees can wind up in jail. But not all debtors are treated so cruelly. Rich people regularly walk away from their obligations, and companies engage in strategic defaults. The banks that crashed the economy in 2008, they got bailed out. Donald Trump, the self-professed king of debt, left a string of corporate bankruptcies in his wake. And don't forget that during the COVID pandemic, the federal government spent hundreds of billions of dollars buying up bad corporate debt belonging to entities including Exxon and Walmart, and offering companies, including payday lenders, forgivable loans. It's time regular debtors got a break, too. It's time for a Jubilee, the erasure of debts and a rebalancing of power between regular people and elites. It's not a new idea. Jubilee was described in the Bible, and many ancient civilizations had periodic jubilees to avert social and economic collapse. Our earliest recorded histories are stone tablets inscribed with credit ledgers. Nearly as long as debt has existed, debt cancellation has existed too. Throughout history, debtors have risen up to demand relief. In the early 6th century BCE, a debtors' riot helped nudge ancient Athens towards democracy. The reforms, known as the shaking off of burdens, included debt absolution and an end to debt bondage. Something similar happened in ancient Rome after debtors mounted the world's first general strike. In the United States, indebted workers and farmers revolted in the colonial era, and then again during the Great Depression. Later, the call for debt cancellation rang out at Occupy Wall Street. In recent years, striking debtors helped force the government to cancel billions of dollars in student loans. Abolishing medical debt, back rent, and student loans would free up money now spent on debt servicing for other things. People could buy homes and start families, and the racial wealth gap would narrow. Research estimates that canceling student debt alone would boost the economy by up to $108 billion a year and create 1 million jobs. Under pressure from activists, President Biden campaigned on a promise to cancel an immediate minimum of $10,000 of student debt per borrower. Thanks to the Higher Education Act of 1965, he has the power to cancel all federal student loans. With a single signature on an executive order, President Biden can free people from student debt, giving tens of millions of people their lives and futures back. Now, we need to make him do it, and much more. We deserve nothing less than a Jubilee.
That's the new animated short film, Your Debt is Someone Else's Asset, published today at the Intercept.
That is bad. And I'm talking about really bad. You know why? Because of the power structure and the way it's set up and the things that are going down and the way they're handling COVID and using over surveillance, over security, and over debt to try to control and minimize the population and the growth of black and browns that are ready to overtake the population of America very soon. This political power structure is not going to go down without a fight. And ever since Reagan started it and Biden continued it, and you turned around and voted for him because he said he was going to get rid of $10,000 in debt, and everybody believed that shit. I never believed it from the time he said it because I knew about the 1990s Joe Biden. More young people voted for Biden than any time ever because they were unaware and being delusioned about his past when somebody as old as me knew he was never no good from Anita Hill since. Now, The thing is, he can't play old in dementia, say he can be president too. No, it's one or the other, so one must hold his feet to the fire. And to know the 1965 Education Act is what can be used, the bill that Adam Clayton Powell helped write and put in force, the man who did over 60 bills for education while the squad ain't did shit, and every bill he did, he got to go through. Any bill they do isn't going anywhere. And these forces are corporate coup takeover of our government. And that's why you paying $300 a credit hour, when less than 20 years ago, at even like where I live in UH, it was $22 a credit hour. What in the hell happened in 20 years? See what I'm saying? We got to recognize this force isn't going to go down without a fight, and we need to prepare. I don't care how many laws are being passed to try to squelch your right to protest. There's protests in other ways. It's called AKA boycott. And use the power of your vote. Go to the third party. People Party is out there. Andrew Yang is starting his Forward Party. There's still the Green Party. And if you want a Jubilee, you're going to have to fight for it. And that's what really it's all about. And if you agree with me, leave your comments below and let me know at FeministNewsN@gmail.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel and that Facebook page. And remember, I'm that Soulful Progressive. One on Twitter, got that rant of the day on Blogger. And I'm no longer that one-woman team, but I got that news crew. Thanks for joining, and thanks for hanging in during the suppressing times. I know that right. Yeah, independent indie media is getting a handful of coal from the Grinches of the YouTube. Yeah, hating on us news creators. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Don't let this holiday season get you down because Biden is trying to tell you on January the 31st you got to pay that back. I went into default myself. I gave up 6 years of EOC income tax credit to give to the government to pay for a job that was only going to pay me at that time $14, $15 an hour, which you trying to get that now and it ain't nothing. Back then it wasn't nothing. You see what I'm saying? I was a single mother. Everything I did was high living in the city. Living in the city is rough. But I'm going to tell you, there's a way and a chance. And listen to people like Astra. Listen to people like Ralph Nader. Go to the third party. Create something. Because if we sit back and waddle in our own self, we can't do nothing. So let's take a listen. No me giving you a last now. If you want to donate, that's Venmo at SkyeSoulfulProgressive, Mahalo, and happy holidays. Yeah. But Adam Clayton Powell says it best, and we're going to end with this.
This is the land of the free and the home of the brave. Is this a land with liberty and justice for all? No. Is this one nation, indivisible, under God? No. Either let us practice the democracy we are preaching, or shut up.
See the smile behind my mask, how long will it last? Stimulus going fast, government won't act. how long will this be gone?
Oh boy, he's just going nuts. I mean, oh boy, he's just going nuts.